Hello students, Dr. Vaishali here. After learning meaning, definition and nature of law, today we are going to learn types of law and classification of law. According to me, today's lecture is really important lecture for you. It is not important for just first year law students, but this lecture is going to help you throughout your legal education and afterwards. Now, why today's lecture is important? Students keep asking me so many questions. Number one question student ask me is why there are articles in the constitution and why there are sections in other laws. For example, Indian Penal Code, it has sections. Criminal Procedure Code provides for different sections. Transfer of Property Act, there are so many sections. But in the Constitution of India, there are articles. So students keep wondering why this discrimination is there. If Constitution is the law and other laws also laws, then why this difference is there? Next question they often ask me is why there are other subjects in our syllabus. According to them, they are going to be lawyers or judges or teachers. They are going to be in the faculty of law. They need law subjects, for example, Transfer of Property Act, Indian Contract Act, and according to them, other subjects, for example, jurisprudence, interpretation of statutes, criminology, these are not laws. Then why they are in the syllabus? Now, next question they often ask me is, what is the status of personal law, ma'am? Personal law is not enacted by the legislature. Then why it is called as a law? Next question they often ask is, why Constitution is the law and why other laws are a law? After that, they often keep wondering whether international law is a true law, because it is not made by any single authority. It is just a pact between the nations. So is it really binding? What's the status of international law? Is it a law or not? So let us find out answers to these questions while discussing types of law and classification of law, because all these answers are hidden in the study of types of law and classification of law. So let us begin. Let us try to find out a difference between law and law subjects. Some laws are there in your syllabus and some law subjects are there in your syllabus. For example, Indian Penal Code is a law. Constitution is the law. CRPC or Criminal Procedure Code is a law. Indian Contract Act is a law. Okay, so these are laws. They provide for some definition or process for enforcement or application of the law. Then there are other subjects which are law subjects. For example, we have jurisprudence, we have interpretation of statutes, we have criminology, we have so many legal maxims. So why these subjects are there in the syllabus? Because these subjects provide a base for laws. These laws comes from these law subjects. So if you need any help while interpreting laws, you can get help from these law subjects, and that's why these subjects are there in your syllabus. So while studying law, your approach should be totally holistic. You should not say that, ma'am, I'm going to practice in criminal law, so I'll just study Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code and evidence. So this is not going to serve your purpose. If you want that confidence or if you want that thorough knowledge of a subject, then you need to study law subjects. So laws as well as law subjects all are equally important, and that's why they are there in your syllabus. Now let us learn types of law. First type of law is international law and national law or municipal law. So what is the difference between these two laws? Broadly speaking, international law is applicable outside of your country and national law is applicable inside your country. Rules acknowledged by civilized nation to be binding upon them in their mutual relations are called rules of international law, and rules which are binding on citizens inside the nation is called municipal law or national law. For example, treaty laws or law of a sea is an example of international law, and IPC or CRPC or Evidence Act is an example of municipal law or national law. Now, international law is made by United Nations. After the Second World War, lots of countries in the world came together and they agreed to maintain international peace, and that's why they made certain rules or certain treaties or some conventions which are called international law today. Now, a second and very important type of law is common law and civil law. This is sometimes confusing for law students. Just remember one thing. Common law comes from Great Britain. Common law is there in the countries which were the colonies of Britain. For example, India was a British colony, so we have common law in India. In US, there were so many British colonies, and in US also we have a common law. In Great Britain, again there is a common law. Apart from Great Britain, there are so many countries in Europe, they have civil law. Now let us try to find out what is a difference between civil law and common law. Broadly speaking, common law is nothing but judge-made law. So common law comes from the decision of judges, precedent, and civil law comes from the statute or an act of a parliament. So in common law countries, judicial decisions take precedence, and in civil law countries, statute takes predominance over the judicial decision. So that's the main difference between common law and civil law. You are going to learn this again in maybe 4th or 5th year of your law education while learning comparative law. So keep this difference in your mind and don't get confused. Common law has to do something with judicial decisions, and civil law deals with legislative lawmaking. Next type, that is constitutional law and statutory law. Now I'm going to answer your question, why there are articles in the Constitution and why there are sections in other laws. Constitution of India is made by Constituent Assembly after independence. Constituent Assembly came together. They made a constitution. Under the constitution, different organs of our nation, they are created. Legislature, executive and judiciary. These are the 3 organs of our state. Now, once constitution is made, 3 organs of the government are made under the constitution. Different powers are conferred by the constitution on these organs. And what are those powers? Legislature can make laws, executive will execute the laws, and judiciary will interpret and apply those laws. Now, constitution is supreme, under which legislature is made. So to maintain that difference between constitutional law and statutory law, there are articles in the constitution and there are sections in the statutory law. And that's why Article 15 is there in the constitution and sections are there in IPC, CRPC or Contract Act. I hope the answer is clear, crystal clear now. Civil law and criminal law. Basically, civil law deals with civil transactions and criminal law deals with criminal content. Object of civil law is not to punish the wrongdoer but to correct the situation. Object of criminal law to a great extent is to punish the individual and to control crime in the society. In civil law, suits or law actions are in between 2 private parties. But in criminal law, it is in between state and individual. Because maintaining law and order is the function of state. So if someone commits crime against some person, it is treated as a crime against state because it directly interferes with law and order in state, and it is the function of a state to maintain law and order in society. That's why in criminal cases, state is always the second party. So cases are like Sajjan Singh versus state of India. Like that, because second party in criminal cases is always the state. Now, in civil law, usually punishments are kind of damages or compensation. In criminal law, they are fines or imprisonment. So that's the difference between civil law and criminal law. Let us discuss the next type of laws, that is substantive law and procedural law. Substantive law provides for the substance of law, definition of law, or the ingredients or contents, and procedural law provides for enforcement of that substantive law in the actual law codes. So basically substantive law provides for a definition of something and procedural law provides for the actual procedural rules for the enforcement of that section. For example, murder will be defined under IPC and procedure for that section will be provided in the CRPC. So like that, substantive law and procedural law are two sides of a same coin. Indian Penal Code is a substantive law, CRPC is a procedural law. Property law is a substantive law, or Indian Property Act is a substantive law, and Civil Procedure Code is the procedural law for it. Now, apart from this, there are so many other types of law. For example, administrative law. What is administrative law? Law which deals with administrative authorities. So, for regulating administrative functions or interrelationship between administrative authorities or relationship between administrative authorities and common man, everything comes under the ambit of administrative law. For example, Universities Act is enacted by the legislature, but the rules for day-to-day communication or for day-to-day actions are made by the universities. So that is administrative law. Now, second, military law or martial law. So for military operations, our usual law is not applicable. They have a different code for themselves, which is called martial law, which is obviously stricter than our Indian Penal Code. So for them, they have a different law and different codes also, which are called court martials. And then there is a personal law. Personal law is not made by the legislature. It is believed that personal law is made by nature or by God for different religious communities. For example, we have Hindu law, we have Christian law, we have Muslim law. Okay, part of a law is codified by legislature and it's called personal law. So we have these many types of law. After discussing this, now we are going to see classification of law. Now let us see the classification of law. Law is broadly divided into two categories: national law or municipal law, and then international law. International law is again divided into two categories: public international law and private international law. So what is the difference between public international law and private international law? Private international law deals with relationship between individuals between two countries. For example, there is a contract between German citizen and Indian citizen for providing something. It comes under private international law. Now, if there is a contract between two countries, like for example, Germany and India again, but not between citizen of Germany or citizen of India. It's between two countries, Germany and India. So if there is a contract between these two countries, it comes under public international law. So international law is again divided into two categories: public international law and private international law. Now, coming to the national law or municipal law, it is divided in again two categories: public law and private law. Public law is again divided in three categories: constitutional law, administrative law, and criminal law. In public law, state is always the second party because it is a duty of a state to maintain law and order in society or to protect citizens against administrative authorities. So in the cases under constitutional law, state is always a second party. In case of cases which come under administrative law, again state is a party. And in case of cases coming under criminal law, for example Indian Penal Code, again state is a second party. Now coming to the private law is again divided in three categories: contract, quasi-contract and torts. So contract and quasi-contract is covered under Indian Contract Act, and law of torts, again it is not codified, but it is there and it is a law. So let us discuss what is contract. It is a contractual relationship between two private individuals. Quasi-contract, when there is no explicit contract but contractual responsibility is assumed there. For example, you order a pizza, a very tasty 3-topping pizza, and by mistake the delivery guy gives your pizza to someone else. Now that someone else eats that pizza, in this case contract is assumed, and that is called quasi-contract. One more example: you go to a locker in a bank, you see all your jewelry or your important stuff, and by mistake something falls down on the floor. You come back home. Now banker goes there afterwards to check whether everything is all right and to lock your locker for second time. And if the banker finds something on the floor, then it is a responsibility of a banker to keep that safe and hand it over to you. So though there is no such contract actually written, contract is assumed there and it is called quasi-contract. And then torts are civil wrongs and they are addressed under law of torts. So this is the classification of law. So now you know all the types of law and the classification of law. Now how will you write your answer in the answer sheet? If there is any question on types of law or classification of law or difference between this law and that law, what you are going to do? First introduce the topic, like there are so many types of law and there are so many types of law subjects. Then provide different types of law. For example, constitutional law and statutory law, international law and municipal law, administrative law and constitutional law. Try to compare them against each other. Common law and civil law, substantive law and procedural law, civil law and criminal law. So after covering all these categories, don't forget to cover personal law, martial law and administrative law. Once you are done with these types of law, make a nice chart about the classification of law, provide about public international law, private international law, private national law, public national law, and then divide everything beautifully. Don't forget to provide proper examples. For example, while explaining constitutional law, you can provide some articles under the constitution and how state is a party in a constitution. You can provide some case law there. While explaining administrative law, again you can provide like concept of rule of law, how it is followed in this case, that case. You can provide those case laws. Afterwards, criminal law. Okay, try to provide or support your answer with appropriate sections or articles and case laws. And then come to private law, that is contract, tort and quasi-contract. Try to provide some case laws, try to explain these laws, and then conclude everything. So these things will be there in your answer. After learning this, you can write a really nice answer. I'm sure about it. Now hold on till the next lecture. Stay tuned.